Hey, brother. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. I'm out here walking the dog again, making one of these videos as I always do every morning. And today I want to talk to you about self-acceptance. And particularly, I want to talk about all of the little nuances of our personality that we don't really quite understand. Why do we like the things that we like? Why do we want the things that we want? Now, part of this journey, part of the men's work, part of the self-discovery, personal development, is to get to know ourselves more deeply, more authentically, to stop doing what we think other people think we should do and start doing what we want to do, what we choose to do, what we intentionally set our focus on and expend our energy on and find value in. And I recognize in myself that there are things that are curiosities, things that I don't even really understand fully. But I also understand that there's always a thing behind the thing. And what I mean by that is that if we are attracted to or gravitate to something, that if we sit with it long enough and explore it and are quiet and listen, we might actually come up with some insights as to why we like that thing or why it is that we are attracted to that thing. So I'll give you a concrete example so you know a little better what I'm talking about. I like small things. I like little tiny boxes. I like little tiny canisters. I like even this rig that I'm recording this video on is minimal. It's got the iPhone. I have a holder that goes around the phone. I have a handle. It almost looks like a end of a mop handle, even though it's a plastic formed handle that screws into that holder. And then I have, this tiny microphone, tiny receiver that plugs into the iPhone. Everything fits in this bag, which is about the size of an iPhone. In fact, my iPhone will fit in that bag. So the bag itself won't fit the iPhone and all the audio equipment, but it'll fit all the audio equipment, and then audio equipment goes in my pocket. So it's almost like I have a studio in my pocket, which I just love. I just love the simplicity and the portability of all of that. And it's right in there in the wheelbase of, was that the right? The wheelhouse of small things, tiny things. And along with that, I also enjoy minimalism, which is not about having nothing, but is about having things that bring value to you, things that are functional, things that bring you joy, things that have meaning and purpose in your life, right? Not just owning stuff, because stuff can own us, but just having things that make sense, right? Things that flow naturally. Like even my cargo pants that I'm wearing are like you can't see those. They're like hiking pants, and the legs zip off. So they're pants, but they're shorts, and they're stylish. They're nice. I can't remember they're Cools, so they're not cheap, but they are great material. They're great construction. They fit really well. They're nice and stylish, and I just enjoy them. I love them, and I love the fact that I can zip the legs off and I can put them in a backpack, and I can have pants and shorts. So now I'm not carrying two items with me. I'm carrying one item that doubles as two functions. I love that kind of stuff. And I've come to appreciate and enjoy getting rid of things. I love rooting out or ferreting out or finding something that I'm like, I don't need this anymore. I can let go of this, right? I thought I needed this at one point, but it doesn't really bring me value, and I don't want it anymore. I'm gonna get rid of it. And I've just come to find that I derive a lot of joy from giving away things, getting rid of things, as much as I probably did maybe acquiring them, right? The chase. And so even these days, even in my The simplicity of how I manage my clothes. I have a very few, I mean, if you noticed, I wear this black shirt from Target. It's $6, $8, something like that. I have a whole closet full of them. Makes life simple, right? It's almost kind of the Einstein method of planning your wardrobe, which, you know, is not to say that I'm Einstein, but we can borrow from everyone, right? We can borrow great ideas from everyone. And I really enjoy that. And I have travel underwear that that is quick dry, that is easy to store away, that lasts forever, that's good quality, holds up real well. And I have baskets that on the floor in my closet that I just drop those things into. And I just love the simplicity of letting gravity fold my clothes, right? That I just let it, I have these bins that I drop my stuff into, and there it goes. Now you're probably thinking at this point, if you haven't clicked away on the video already, like, okay, why do I care, right? What's the point? Well, the point is it's self-acceptance. It's to recognize that you've got these curiosities about your personality, these things that you enjoy, and just being okay with that. Not labeling yourself as a weirdo, or not saying I should be doing it some other way, or that if other people knew what I did or what I enjoyed, that somehow they would judge me or look weird at me. Being able to accept ourselves, because what we do is when we come up with that story in our mind that people are going to judge us, they're going to say things about us, what we do is we reject ourselves first. We judge ourselves first. We actually go first in that rejection of self. We say, oh, I can't do that. I couldn't do that. If I got to live small. I got to live in this box. I got to live according to what I think is acceptable to other people, which is interesting, right? Because now you're talking about, I think, other people think. And so it's not even the reality of what they think, it's the story that you've come up with, right? So now you're self-limiting. Now you're self-limiting by the story that you've come up with for yourself. And then you're projecting that onto other people, saying, you know, that other people won't let you do, or that other people wouldn't like, but it's still your story. Now, sure, there's some cases where people come out directly and they tell you, you know, flat out what they're thinking and what they expect and what they want, and that's fine. But what I'm talking about is the self-limiting part, the part where you come up with a story and then you live according to that story, but then you project it out onto other people and you're upset by what they are thinking, when in fact it's just really your own thoughts. So I've been thinking about that. Speaking of thoughts, I've been thinking about that here lately, and I've recognized that there are things that I've come to enjoy. You know, we're all seeking this out in our life, right? The things, surrounding ourselves by the things that we enjoy, that brings us pleasure, and I've come to realize that learning to play the guitar brings me joy. Shooting photography brings me joy. Finding the efficiencies in things, being able to appreciate the joy of being able to just throw your clothes into a bin and have them automatically folded by gravity, so to speak. Being interested in something like van life and understanding that there's a chase, a thrill, a curiosity in looking for small things to travel with, you know, functional things to travel with, trying to understand all of that and not knowing exactly why. And that's where I find myself these days. I find myself watching YouTube videos about van life, about travel, about small appliances, about water systems and all of that stuff. And why? I don't know. I have a nice house in Austin, Texas, right? I have a family. I have a business. Why? What is it that I'm drawn to in those things? And there's certainly that question, right? The why. But what if we just accept ourselves and just say, I don't know, I just like it. And we start there. We start with that self-acceptance. We say, you know, that, I don't know, I'm just going to lean into it, see where it goes, right? Which goes back to the, if you've watched any of my videos, you know there's a phrase that I use that says, I give myself permission to even consider the possibility of whatever it is. And so a lot of times what happens is when we do that, our brain actually starts looking for an answer. It actually starts considering the possibilities. It actually starts opening up, right? Removing the filters. It's kind of like going to, you know, if you go to work and you've got any kind of system that does customer relationship management or warehouse management or any kind of parts or anything that's information based, and you go to the computer and you fire up the software and you put in a few words and you filter all the information down to exactly what you're looking for, right? But then later you go back and you start looking for something else. Maybe you're looking for a customer and that customer isn't popping up and you're like, why isn't this customer in this showing up? I've worked with this customer for years. I know they're in the system. I put them in the system. In fact, I accessed them yesterday. I know they're here. Why aren't they showing up? And then at some point you realize, oh, I've got the filter on, right? That you had turned it on earlier, that you were looking at new customers, or you were looking at customers in a different area, or whatever it was, right? You had filtered that list of information and you were no longer seeing everything. So this is kind of what we do when we have our own self-limiting personal filters going, is that we've told our brain, I can't do that. They wouldn't like that. I shouldn't do that. I have to be this person in order to be safe, to be secure, to be okay, to be accepted, to be approved of, to be loved, right? To be successful. And then at some point you go, oh, I can't find what I'm looking for. I'm having a hard time. I'm confused. I'm frustrated, right? I don't like the experience that I'm having. And then at some point you realize, oh, I've got the filter on. I've limited my results. I've limited my options. I'm not seeing what I want to see because I've limited myself. And so then you go and you clear the filter, right? You clear the filter in the search. You say, I give myself permission to even consider the possibility of, without assigning meaning to it, without labeling it, without judging it, without needing to know the why, without needing to know what comes next. I give myself permission to even consider the possibility of. And that's clear as the filter. And then the next thing you know, you're finding that customer. There he is. He's been there the whole time, right? It was there. I put him in the system. I knew he was in the system. I worked with him for years. There he is, just by clearing the filter. And so that's what happens in our life when we remove the self-limiting beliefs. We remove those filters of the mind. Then we're able to see possibilities. We're able to see opportunities. And that includes self-acceptance, being able to accept ourselves. Being able to say, I don't know why. I don't know why I like small things. I don't know why I like the efficiencies of things. I'm not exactly sure why I'm attracted to these activities: photography, guitar, travel, building out a small travel unit like a van life. But I'm just going to accept it. I'm just going to roll with it and see where it goes. So that becomes the mantra for the guiding star for everything that we do. I give myself permission to even consider the possibility of, and then that's where we see where it goes. So that's what I have for you to do today. That's some thoughts. I'm looking at putting together some groups in the Mentoring Men community. If you haven't checked that out already, come on over and join me in the community, mentoring.men. You can find us there. You can find me there. And going to be starting a photography group, maybe a van life group. Not so sure about the guitar group. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe an odds and ends music group. I don't know. But definitely something around photography, something around building up the van. Maybe something about efficiencies and minimalism. I don't know. We'll see. I give myself permission to even consider the possibility of. Okay, brother. That's it for today. Have a good one. I love you. Talk to you later.